Jose TV Production. Your only island TV channel.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's Interfaith Dialogue series, where we come together in unity to reflect on the values that strengthen our faith and our humanity. Our theme for this gathering is mercy and forgiveness, virtues that resonate across all faiths, guiding us toward peace, understanding, and reconciliation. To formally begin our program, may we request everyone to settle down as we start with the preliminaries.
Tumayo po tayong lahat at sabay-sabay nating awitin ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiging pela sa silanganan, anak ng puso, sa dilim mo'y buhay. Lupang hiniran, gulat na ng pag-ibig, sa magdulugin, di ka masisigit. Sa dagat at lubog, sa sigat at sa langit mong bawang, may ginatang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawat mo'y talumpay na naglilingling, ang bituin at araw na kailan pa may dimagiling. Lumalang araw ng walhanin pagsigaw, mo'y nagisapin mo. Ang hikaya na pantay makakamit, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Ama na aming Diyos, lubhang banal at makapangyarihan sa lahat. Narito ang inyong mga lingkod, nagpapasalamat at pinupuri ang inyong pangalan. Linisin niyo po ang aming puso at isip na maihag po namin na may kabanalan ng inyong kalooban. Tulungan niyo po kami na mapanatiling matibay ang aming pananampalataya at gawin ang mga bagay na may kalakip na basbas at biyaya. Ipagkaloob niyo po sa amin ang kapayapaan sa buong panahon. Ang lahat ng ito ay aming hinihiling sa ngalan ni Jesus na aming tagapagligtas. Amen.
Isabella, land of the free, God's blessing shine on thee. With all the good and brotherhood, a great new city you'll be. Dear Isabella, cradle of love, the only one we have. We'll work and talk at sea and song, and make you great as can be.
So endless peace shall reign every tribe. Believe us one and dream us one, contented family. And endless peace
Let's give Isabella our hope, love and honor. Let's speak of her beauty and faith. Come, let's all hand in hand work for the better. Hold high Isabella city's name.
There is a Bella, land of the free. God's blessing shine on thee. With all the good and brotherhood, a great new city you'll be. There is a Bella, cradle of love, the only one we have. We'll work and toil at sea and soil and make you great as can be.
You may now take your seat. To officially open our dialogue and acknowledgement of participants and introduction of speakers, may I call on Ms. Mendry Ann Lim, our City Information Officer and GAT focal person.
Happy Isabella! Happy. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Good afternoon po sa lahat ng mga nandito ngayon. Maraming salamat at pinaunlakan niyo po ang aming imbitasyon para makadalo at makarinig or makapag-participate dito sa ating second Interfaith Dialogue Series. So, para sa kaalaman ng lahat, no? So, bago ang lahat, mamaya i-introduce ko po ang ating mga panauhing pangdangal na nandito sa harap natin, no? Nagpapasalamat ako at nung kinontak po kayo ay talagang automatic po na open sila para sa ganitong klaseng aktibidad, no? Na bihira ginagawa sa isang government, no, sa isang government unit, local government unit. So para sa kaalaman ng lahat, ang interfaith dialogue na ito ay pangalawang beses na natin ginawa, no? Ito ay ginagawa natin tuwing Wednesdays ng buwan ng Marso. So bakit? Ano ba meron sa buwan ng Marso? Actually, marami. Nagpatong-patong ang ginagawa natin for the month of March this year, no? Una, it is in line with the Women's Month celebration. So, to provide an avenue, not only for women, but also for all other genders, where we can come together and talk about what? Life, sense of purpose, goodness, and message of various faiths na meron dito sa Isabela City. Kakaiba kasi ang Isabela City, ang lungsod ng Isabela. Tayo ay melting pot of different cultures and religions, no? Pero ang maganda, kahit magkaiba-iba man, meron tayong pagkakaunawaan at pagkakaintindihan. Nagkakaisa po tayo. So, isa na rin sa pag-promote natin ng ganito, yung pag-conduct ng mga interfaith dialogues. Second, ang buwan ng Marso ay nagkataon, it is in line with the observance of the holy month of Ramadan, as well as the start of the Lenten season. O, di ba? Ang dami nating ino-observe para sa buwan na to. So, this time of the year, anong ginagawa natin? We do prayers, no? We strengthen and renew our faith, no? And deepen our understanding of the religion. Yun. And finally, as Isabeleños, no? Iisa lang naman ang adhikain natin. ano bang adhikain natin for Isabela City? Siyempre, we want to see a progressive and a peaceful Isabela City. And one way to promote this is to promote solidarity and unity in diversity among Isabeleños regardless of our culture and religious beliefs. So thus, nagkakaroon tayo, gusto nating i-practice itong interfaith dialogues para mas makita natin yung similarities natin more than the differences that we have in our religions. So feeling ko naman lahat nag-a-agree doon. Tama po ba? Oo. Sana hindi ako ang mag-closing ceremony mamaya. Baka ako na naman mag-closing ceremony. Kung sino daw nag-open ng program, siya din ang mag-closing. Anyways, ikwento ko lang din, no, aside from yun nga yung ginagawa natin ngayon, ikwento ko lang din na ideya po talaga ito ni Mayor Dada. No? She is in a meeting ngayon. Minsan kasi may mga ideya siya, binabato lang niya sa amin. Tapos kami na yung gagawa ng implementasyon ng program. So tinawag niya kami sa room niya, si Jed. Actually kay Jed to. Si Jed, si Mujahid Kosain, ang aming assistant HR. Tapos sabi niya, maggumawa kayo ng interfaith with the following topics. So pati topics po, no, siya talaga ang nag-isip. Una, ang first topic natin was modesty and fasting. Virtues of modesty and fasting. This was last Thursday, kasi Ash Wednesday, so we moved it to Thursday. Sino po ang nakapunta? Meron ako nakita dito. Ayan, si Sir, si Ma'am, nandito sila. So, they saw how effective it was, Ma'am, no? And how fulfilling it was umuwi ka na parang feeling mo, na-renew yung faith mo or nagkaroon ka ng hope na parang ang ganda pala pag nag-uusap-usap tayo. Parang ganun ang feeling ko. Ewan ko sa iba, pero ako ganun yung feeling ko. So, second, etong ngayon, ang ganda rin ng topic ngayon. Sabi ko, I should not miss this topic because this topic is applicable to everyone. No? It's about, mercy and forgiveness. Awa, tama ba? Awa at pagpapatawad. Sino dito ang sa tingin niya ay, nakaranas or kailangang magbigay ng awa at pagpapatawad? So mas maiintindihan natin ito kasi hindi ako expert dyan sa ating mga speakers na meron tayo ngayon. So hopefully meron tayong matututunan. Sa third week, if you're still interested, you can come na, no? Pero although we limit it to 100 lang per session, women in the Holy Scriptures. Kasi kung ang Islam merong Maryam, tapos ang Christian merong Mama Mary, no? Iisang character, iisang tao lang po ang pinapaniwalaan natin, no? Pero iba-iba yung perspective. Or baka mga similar ang perspective. So mas matutunan natin yun doon. And finally, the last one, also a very important topic, especially nowadays, no? Yung pagiging nangyayari sa bansa natin ngayon. Aware naman kayo na nangyayari sa bansa natin ngayon, no? So, yung pagka-Pilipino, yung pagka-Isabelenyo, yung pagka-isang mamamayan, isang citizen, my faith and my responsibilities. Ano ang koneksyon ng ating faith sa ating responsibilidad sa ating lipunan? That's the last topic on the last Wednesday of the month of March. So, yun. Excited ako and excited ako sa magiging resulta nito. Hindi ko na pahabain at magsisimula na tayo dahil hanggang 3:30 lang tayo dito. Pero magiging isang malaman na pag-uusap ang mangyayari sa araw na ito. So, yun lang. Welcome po at magandang araw sa lahat.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Mendry. Forgiveness is an act of the heart, and mercy is the bridge that connects us to true peace. Today, we are privileged to hear from our respected speakers, each offering insights from their faith traditions. So we have four speakers, and we are honored to have with us this afternoon Reverend Father Ronel Antonio serves Father Ronel Antonio. So he serves as the vocation director, youth director, and vice chancellor of the Roman Catholic Prelature of Isabela de Basilan. He is also a resident priest of Santa Isabel Cathedral Parish, a graduate of St. Francis Xavier Regional Majors Seminary of Mindanao. He holds a Master of Arts in Pastoral Ministry and a Master of Arts in Systematic Theology. Additionally, he completed units in philosophy at Ateneo de Zamboanga University, equipping him with a strong foundation for his pastoral and theological work. So welcome po, Reverend Father Ronel Antonio. Next, we have Ustads Abul Gais Habibun. Is a distinguished scholar in Islamic studies, holding a Bachelor of Arts in Fundamentals of Religion from the World Islamic Science and Education at Al-Ahliya Aman University in Jordan. He further pursued higher education, earning a Master of Public Administration and a Master of Arts in Education at Basilan State College, a respected member of the Basilan Ulama Supreme Council since 2014. He currently teaches at the Mahat Mabarakat Al-Arabi Al-Islami and serves as a public school teacher in the Araling Panlipunan Department of Basilan National High School. He is also a recognized lecturer for Islamic symposiums and Friday sermons. So welcome, Ustad Abul Gais Habibun. Next, Mr. Raul Tagarao is a dedicated community leader and advocate for holistic well-being. He currently serves as the Basilan District Organization President of the Seventh-day Adventist Church and is a chaplain at Basilan Adventist Community Health Services. Born in Imelda, Zamboanga, Sibugay, Mr. Tagarao arrived in Isabela in the 1980s. So beginning his mission as a home health education service field worker, since then he has been actively involved in community health services, conducting lectures, feeding programs, and disseminating vital information on health and life education across Basilan. His extensive training in the Philippines and various Southeast Asian countries has equipped him with the expertise to advocate for community awareness on family life and importance of a healthy community. He is often invited as a speaker of various police stations in Basilan for their moral and spiritual enrichment program, as he is a strong advocate for the community life enrichment. So welcome po, Mr. Raul Tagarao. And of course, Mrs. Edith R. Amantillo, a dedicated mother of three and a plain housewife, has been an active leader in the United Evangelical Church of Isabela, serving as a church deacon. Her steadfast commitment to faith and service has made her a pillar of spiritual guidance within her community. So welcome po, Ma'am Edith R. Amantillo. Okay, so we before mag-start po yung first speaker, you have given po 20 minutes to share your insights or anything that talks about our topics, mercy and forgiveness. So let's start to Reverend Father Ronel Antonio.
So I prepared a PowerPoint presentation for this topic this afternoon, mercy and forgiveness. And first, the flow of the presentation is this way. First, we will be defining what is mercy and forgiveness. No, we have to know it. We have to define it. Second, I will revisit. I will bring you to the scriptural basis of mercy and forgiveness. Not technically on definition, hindi yung meaning niya, pero yung kwento ng mga tao sa Biblia, yung kwento ng awa at pagpapatawad sa Biblia, sa Old Testament, sa New Testament. And then next is that another story of mercy and forgiveness in the tradition of the church, yung tradition po ng simbahang Katoliko. Ang simbahang Katoliko po ay 2,000 years old na po. So ang dami na pong mga kwento ng pagpapatawad. Itong mga taong ito, yung kwento nila ng pagpatawad, mercy, awa at pagpapatawad, they are also we call them our saints, yung mga santo namin, mga santa. And then, towards the end, yung sa dulo po, no, is our pinaka mabuting modelo ng awa at pagpapatawad, si Maria, no? The Blessed Virgin Mary or si Mariam po, no? And then yung embodiment po ng awa at pagpapatawad, no other than Jesus Christ. So are you ready? So let me quote first Pope Francis. Si Pope Francis po yung ang Santo Papa po ng simbahang Romano Katoliko. Siya po yung pinaka-pinuno. Nasa Roma po siya. And he's now in the hospital, no? So may sakit po siya ngayon. Sabi po ni Pope Francis, a person unable to forgive has not yet known the fullness of love. Only one who truly loves is able to forgive and forget. Ang hirap pong magpatawad kung hindi po tayo marunong magmahal. Nagmahal na ba kayo? Di ba sa pagmamahal natin, may kaakibat na sakit. Nagmahal ka at nasaktan ka. Kung walang sakit, kung hindi ka nasaktan, hindi ka nagmahal. Masakit kasi nagmahal ka. Pero iniwan ka. You have that experience na maiwanan, panakipbutas lang. Di ba? Ganun talaga magmahal. It's inevitable. Hindi mo maiwasan na masasaktan ka. Kasi nagmahal ka nga. Diba? Sabi ni Pope Francis, you will never have that mercy and forgiveness if you didn't love. May kasabihan po sa Latin, no? Nemo dat quod non habet. Anong pong ibig sabihin nito? You cannot give what you don't have. Paano ka magmahal kung hindi mo naranasang minahal at mahalin? Diba ang hirap? It's because of that, ang hirap magpatawad. The Latin word for mercy, which is the ultimate root of our English word mercy, is misericordia. No, ito po yung sa Latin po. It in turn derives from two words, miserere, meaning to have pity on, may awa, compassion for, may awa, and cor, meaning cordes, core meaning heart, no? That is why in Chavacano yung puso po is corazon, no, core. Genitive case cordis of the heart, no? Mercy therefore carries the idea of having compassion on someone with all one's heart. May puso, may awa. The latter phrase expresses the idea from the very inmost depth or core of one's being. Kung wala kang puso, wala kang awa, no? Lahat naman tayo may puso, di ba? Lahat ba? Of course, lahat. Pero yung ibang puso po natin matitigas, parang bato. Di po ba? The sacred scriptures show clearly that mercy is the greatest relative characteristic of God, the attribute that extends over all He created. No, yung mercy po, no, yun po yung pinaka-attribute po ng Panginoon, and it explains the whole plan of salvation. The power, virtue of a compassionate heart that shares another misery to come to the other's rescue. No? Awa, no? Tulungan mo ako. Yun po yung sabi po ni St. Thomas, therefore, can fearlessly profess and demonstrate that with relation to all that exists in creation. Mercy is the greatest divine attribute. Ang Panginoon po ay siya po yung Panginoon ng awa. Yun po yung isa sa mga characteristics ng Panginoon. A composite definition of mercy based on various dictionaries would go like this: a feeling of tenderness aroused by someone's distress or suffering. Naawa ka sa isang tao kasi nakita mo yung kahirapan niya. Mercy, awa, which inclines cause one to spare, no? Or to help another who is in one's power and has no claim whatever to. Meaning, no, may nakita kang walang pagkain, naawa ka, binibigyan mo ng pagkain. Ganun po. Kindness. Another definition would be pardon. No? Pagbigay ng kapatawaran. Pardon given to someone who could be punished, often used with reference to God when He forgives sin. So meaning, yung mercy at saka forgiveness, no, yung dalawang connotation na yan, magka-connected po sila, may relasyon po sila. Kung walang mercy, walang forgiveness. That is why may awa at may pagpapatawad. John Paul II, one of the popes, no, in the Catholic Church, present mercy as the greatest attribute of God and the foundation of hope for the world. Yung awa ng Diyos, yun po yung pag-asa. Kung walang awa, walang pag-asa. He encourages all Christians to imitate Christ's mercy in their daily lives, showing compassion, forgiveness, and love toward others. So yun na yung meaning nun, no? Pag may pagmamahal, may awa at may pagpapatawad. Mahal mo yung isang tao kaya papatawarin mo kahit pagaano kasakit, no? Yung pinaranas sa iyo dahil nagmahal ka. Now, the second part of my presentation is the biblical story of mercy and forgiveness. Yun po yung mga kwento ng pagpapatawad. First, in the Old Testament po, no? Kung sa mga Kristiyano po, sa mga Catholics po, ito po, the story of the wife of Hosea, si Gomer, no? Anong nangyari sa kanya, no? Hosea and Gomer, separation and reconciliation. You know what? Yung kwento po niya is that si Gomer po ay isang pokpok, no? Ano man pokpok? Prostitute. Yun po yung kwento niya. Pero yung ginawa po ng Panginoon, no, pinili po, no, pinaasawa po siya kay Hosea. Si Hosea po is very faithful to his wife. Kahit nagloko na si Gomer, no, naghanap ng ibang lalaki, pinatawad pa rin niya. And according to the, yung sa biblical commentaries po, no, hinahalin tulad po ito sa kwento ng Panginoon sa kanyang sa mga tao sa atin po, no? Every time po tayo na nagkakasala, ang Panginoon po, pinapatawad niya tayo. The Lord welcomes us again. We are like a harlot, pokpok. No? Every time we commit sin, we are like pokpok. We are like prostitutes. But the Lord continue to welcomes us. No? Ganun po yung awa ng Diyos. Next po, yung kwento ni Joseph. No? Joseph forgives his brother. Nasa Old Testament po ito, sa Genesis chapter 45, verses 1 to 15. Joseph, who was sold into slavery by his jealous brothers, rises to power in Egypt. No? Yung pinagtangkaan nila yung buhay ng kapatid nila, 12 po silang magkakapatid, si Joseph, no? Siya po kasi yung magaling. Magaling siya na anak, bunso po. Tapos, yung mga kapatid niya, pinagtanggal yung buhay niya. Parang tinulak nila sa isang balon, doon po siya. And then, when his brother comes seeking food during a famine, he reveals himself and forgives them instead of seeking revenge. Yun po yung ginawa. Kinuha po ng mga Egyptians si Joseph. And then since may talent po siya na mag-interpret ng mga panaginip, no, Joseph the Dreamer, no, ginawa po siyang governor ng Egypt. And there was a prophecy na magkakaroon po ng famine, no, sa Egypt, sa buong kansalupaan, no, whole the world, no, may famine. That is why, no, since nag-interpret siya ng dream ng Pharaoh, so they were able to save food. That is why yung mga kapatid niya, ang kapatid ni Joseph, they went to look for food in Egypt. And they don't know that it was their brother. Yung kapatid pala nila yung andun sa Egypt, yung pala yung naging governor. And then anong ginawa? Pinatawad niya yung mga kapatid niya. You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. His forgiveness is a powerful act of mercy. No? Tao lang si Joseph, pero pinatawad niya yung mga kapatid niya, pinagtangkan yung buhay niya. Now, in the New Testament po, sa Biblia po ng mga Katoliko, the parable of the prodigal son, no, sa Ebanghelyo po ni Lucas, chapter 15, verses 11 to 32, no, the parable of the prodigal son. This story illustrates God's mercy and forgiveness. A son demands his inheritance, squanders it in reckless living. No? Yung anak, mayaman talaga sila, no? Umalis siya sa bahay, kinuha niya yung mga wealth, no? Kinuha niya yung siya kasi yung tagapagmana. So kinuha niya na in advance. Hindi pa nga namamatay yung tatay niya, kinuha niya, di ba ngayon pag pagmayaman yung pamilya, no? Nag-aaway yung mga anak dahil sa lupa, dahil sa yaman, no? Pero sa kanya, buhay pa yung tatay niya, kinuha niya na. Anong ginawa niya? He squandered it, no? Nandoon siya, pumunta siya ng mga bar, siguro pang may bar na that time, no? Nag-happy-happy lang siya doon. No? Yun yung ginawa niya. When he returns home, his father welcomes him with open arms. So, one time, no, naubos yung pera niya, tapos wala na siyang makain, doon na lang siya sa may mga animal, doon siya kumain. He realized that he must return to his home. Kailangan niyang bumalik kasi ang yaman-yaman nila, tapos doon lang siya kumain sa pagkain ng animal, no, ng mga hayop. When he returns home, his father welcomes him with open arms, forgiving him completely. This reflects God's love and willingness to forgive those who repent. No? Alam nyo, pagdating niya sa bahay, sa tatay niya, hindi niya pa nga sinasabi na, Father, forgive me for what I have done. You know what the father did? Anong ginawa ng tatay? In-embrace niya yung anak niya. Yun yung ginawa ng tatay. The story of the prodigal son, no? Sa buhay natin, no? Yung prodigal son, yung kanta ng anak, parang ganun din yun, no? Our parents took care of us, pero anong ginawa natin? We squandered, no? Hindi tayo nag-aral ng mabuti. Ayun yun. Pero yung sa story na to, no, pinatawad siya ng tatay niya. Jesus forgives the woman caught in adultery. No? Ito yung babae na adulterous woman, no? Prostitute. Hindi siya adultery, no? Parang prostitute na din. No? A woman caught in adultery is brought before Jesus. And the Pharisees demand she be stoned according to the law. No? Of course, no? When you are caught having an affair before, the punishment is stoning to death. Yun po yung tradition po ng mga Hudyo. Jesus respond, no, nandun na yung babae. Jesus respond, let him who is without sin cast the first stone. No, sabi pa ni Jesus, no, sinong walang kasalanan sa inyo? No, itapon yung bato dito. One by one, the accusers leave. And Jesus tells the woman, neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. This shows Jesus' mercy and the power of forgiveness. No, pinatawad niya yung babae na adulterous woman, no? Yung ginawa ni Jesus. Next story is the story of the sinful woman and Jesus' mercy, no? Anong ginawa ng babae na to, no? Nung pagdating sa isang bahay na may mga Pariseo, pagdating ni Jesus, no? She wiped the feet of Jesus and she cried. Sabi pa ng mga Pariseo sa bahay na, pag hindi niya to kilala, na hindi na talaga, no? Parang why you go to that sinner? Kasi sa mga Hudyo, bawal kasing makipaglapitan sa mga makasalanan. No? Bawal. Pero what the woman did, she wiped the feet of Jesus, no? Asking for forgiveness. Number 4. Ito po yung pang-apat na kwento ng awa at pagpapatawad. Jesus on the cross. While suffering on the cross, Jesus prays for those who crucified him, saying, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do. This demonstrates the ultimate act of mercy and divine forgiveness. No? Yung pong turo ni Jesus na pag mahalin mo yung kaaway mo. Pag sinampal ka sa kabila, ibigay mo yung kabila. No? Pag sinampal ka sa kaliwa, ibigay mo yung kanan. Ganun po yung turo ni Jesus. Pag pinatay yung anak mo, no, wag mong patayin. No? Do not avenge your son, but pray for your enemy. Love your enemies. Ang hirap kaya, di ba? Yun po yung turo ni Jesus. That is why Jesus is the embodiment of mercy and forgiveness, no? Kasi tayo kasi yung mga tao, sinasabi natin, hindi tayo kayang magpatawad kasi tao lang tayo. Pero ang Diyos naging tao para ipakita sa atin paano magpatawad. Yun po yung turo sa simbahan. The third part is women in the past, present, and beyond. Women in the church tradition. Sila po yung mga santo, mga santa ng simbahan. Sila po yung mga babae po. Saints Perpetua and Felicity were Christian martyrs who lived during the early persecution of the church in Africa by the Emperor Severus. No? Sino po to? No? After, pagkatapos po na nag-start po yung Christianity, yung Catholic Church sa Jerusalem, tinawag po silang sekta, the way, the new way. And then, dinala po yan sa Europe, si St. Paul, si San Pablo. And then the first Christians, in context, dati po kasi is Jerusalem was conquered by the Roman Empire. Sinako po ng mga Romano ang Jerusalem. So, the first Christians during that time were persecuted. Kaya nga po na-reject si Jesus. Kaya nga po namatay si Jesus. The first Christians in Rome were also persecuted because the official religion of the Roman Empire was pagan. Kaya nga pag may mga Kristiyano, pinapatay nila. Ito, mga babae ito, si Saints Perpetua and Felicity. Sila po ay mga nanay. They are mothers. And you know what? Perpetua, may anak po siya. Because she was caught practicing Christian. Siya po ay isang Kristiyano. And then, while in prison, ayaw niya pong i-renounce yung faith niya na pagiging Kristiyano. Kaya, yung request niya lang at that time na ibigay sa kanya yung anak niya. And she said, while in prison, nasa preso po siya, sinabi niya po, when she received her son, sabi niya pa, yung preso, sa loob ng cell, sabi niya, it's like a hell. But when she received her son, nung natanggap niya na yung anak niya, it becomes a palace. It becomes a heaven. Parang ganoon yung description niya, yung na-receive niya yung anak niya. Now, si Felicity naman, while in prison, yung nasa preso si Felicity, she was pregnant. Buntis po siya. And at that time, bawal pong patayin or i-execute ng Roman Empire ang mga buntis. Kaya nga, before siya in-execute, nanganak muna siya. Nasa loob siya ng preso, nanganak siya. And then after siyang nanganak, that's the time they were martyred. Paano pagpatay sa kanila? They were put to the wild animals, nasa stadium. Sa Colosseum, nakikita nyo sa Rome, may Colosseum dyan. Dyan po nilalagay ang lahat ng mga Kristiyano para patayin ng mga Romano. That's why there were martyrs of the faith. They hold on until the end dahil po sa paniniwala at pananampalataya nila. Now, why is it that they became saints? Because they did not hate their persecutors. Hindi po sila galit sa mga pumatay sa kanila. Instead, pinatawad po nila. Dahil yun po yung reason bakit sila naging santa or naging santo ng simbahan. Next, Saint Agnes. Saint Agnes of Rome was born in 291 AD and raised a Christian family. Agnes was very beautiful and belonged to a wealthy family. Her hand in marriage was highly sought after, and she had many high-ranking men chasing after her. Siya po ay napakaganda. Ang dami niyo pang suitors, Ang daming nangliligaw sa kanya. However, Agnes made a promise to God never to stain her purity. Nag-promise na po siya kay God. Her love for the Lord was great and she hated sin even more than death. No, ayaw niya pong magkasala. Ayaw niya pong ibigay yung pagkababae niya. She want to preserve it. No? Whenever a man wished to marry Agnes, she would always say, Jesus Christ is my only spouse. Kaya nga po nakikita nyo sa simbahang Katoliko may mga madre po, no? Because they are not allowed to, they chose not to marry, they chose to give their whole life, their whole self kay Jesus po, sa Panginoon po. That is why si Saint Agnes, no? She preserved her purity and that is why she was martyred, no? Pinatay po siya dahil dito, no? Ayaw niyang magpaligaw, ayaw niyang ibigay yung pagkababae niya. She reserved her dignity to the Lord, sa Panginoon po. Next story po is the story of Saint Maria Goretti, Mercy in the Face of Violence. Sino po si Saint Maria Goretti? Yung kwento niya po is that she was a beautiful lady, beautiful Italian woman, no? Siya po yung napakaganda, no? And then one day, no, she also, like Saint Agnes, she wanted to preserve her purity to the Lord, no? To offer it to the Lord. Na one time, may nagtangkang i-rape siya, no? Ang tawag ng pangalan niya is si Alessandro, no? Alessandro, yung pangalan po, Alessandro. So, pinasok siya sa bahay, tinangka siyang i-rape, no? And then, afterwards, anong nangyari? No? Namatay siya, no? She did not give. And ano po yung pinakamagandang story nito, no? The story of a murderer. The story of a murderer and conversion. Maria's forgiveness saved me, no? Nung kinulong na po si Alessandro, he served in prison for 27 years, no? Napanaginipan niya si Saint Maria Goretti, no? Ito po yung letter ni Alessandro nung napanaginipan niya po. I am now almost 80 years old. I am close to the end of my days. Looking back at my past, I recognize that in my early youth, I followed a false road, an evil path that led to my ruin. Through the content of printed magazines, immoral shows, and bad examples in the media, I saw the majority of the young people of my day following evil without even thinking twice. Unworried, I did the same thing. There were faithful and practicing Christian believers around me, but I paid no attention to them. I was blinded by a brute impulse that pushed me down the wrong way of living. At the age of 20, I committed a crime of passion, the memory of which still horrifies me today. Maria Goretti, now a saint, was my good angel whom God placed in my path to save me. Her words, both of rebuke and forgiveness, are still imprinted in my heart. She prayed for me, interceding for her killer. 30 years in prison followed. If I had not been a minor in Italian law, I would have been sentenced to life in prison. Nevertheless, I accepted the sentence I received as something I deserved. Resigned, I atoned for my sin. Little Maria was truly my light, my protectress. With her help, I served those 27 years in prison well. When society accepted me back among its members, I tried to live honestly with angelic charity. The sons of Saint Francis, the minor Capuchins of the Marches, welcomed me among them not as a servant, but as a brother. I have lived with them for 24 years. Now I look serenely to the time in which I will be admitted to the vision of God, to embrace my dear ones once again, and to be close to my guardian angel, Maria Goretti, and her dear mother, Asunta. May all who read this letter of mine desire to follow the blessed teaching of avoiding evil and following the good. May all believe with the faith of little children that religion with its precepts is not something one can do without. Rather, it is true comfort and the only sure way in all of life's circumstances, even in the most painful. Peace and all good. Alessandro Serenelli, no? Macerata, Italy, no? Ito po yung sulat niya. The conversion, no? Naging santa po si Goretti, si Maria Goretti dahil po sa murderer niya, no? Naginip po siya. And si Maria Goretti forgave Alessandro of what He did to her. No? That is why naging santa siya. Mary, model for all women. No? Indeed, a woman occupies a place in the church which is the highest after Christ, the Queen of all saints, the Blessed Virgin Mary. Ano po yung kwento ni Maria ng pagpapatawad? No? Yung anak niya na si Jesus nasa krus. Pero hindi niya po siya nagalit sa mga nagpasakit sa kanyang anak, no? Siya po ay model of mercy and forgiveness, si Maryam, no? Maryam Ibnat Imran, the mother of Isa, holds a singularly exalted place in Islam as the only woman named in the Quran, no? O Maryam, God has chosen you and purified you. He has chosen you above all the women of creation. Surah 3:42. Mary is the icon of how the church must offer forgiveness to those who seek it. The mother of forgiveness teaches the church that the forgiveness granted on Golgotha knows no limits. Neither the law with its quibbles nor the wisdom of this world with its distinctions can hold it back. The church's forgiveness must be every bit as broad as that offered by Jesus on the cross and by Mary at his feet. There is no other way. Now, I will not read this, no, kasi mag-end na. No? You know po, yung sinabi ko po kanina na si Jesus po ang embodiment ng pagpapatawad at forgiveness sa simbahan. Bakit po? Siya po ay Diyos, nagkatawang tao. Bakit po inalay ni Jesus ang kanyang buhay para sa ating lahat? Para patawarin tayo. Because of love. Nagmahal po siya. Mahal po tayo ng Diyos. Mahal po tayo ng Panginoon. Sa pagmamahal na 'yan, no? Sinasabi ko pa sa mga Katoliko na kahit gaano pa kalaki yung kasalanan mo, papatawarin ka ng Panginoon. So long as sincere, galing sa puso ang paghingi mo ng pagpapatawad. That is why Jesus said on the cross, when he was on the cross, he said, Father, forgive them for they do not know what they're doing. Yun po yung ginawa ni Jesus. Siya po yung nagkatawang tao, siya po ang material, ang concrete example of mercy and forgiveness. Kaya po yung turo niya, mahalin mo ang iyong kaaway. Hanggang doon lang po. Marami pong salamat.
Isa TV Production. Your only island TV channel.